beneath the sun-drenched skies of Mexico lies a living tapestry of ancient peoples, their roots stretching back to the first civilizations that shaped this land. From valleys carved by rivers to mountains crowned in mist, tribes have carried forward stories older than empires, older than the stones of forgotten temples. Their languages, their rituals, their connection to earth and sky remain as echoes of time itself. To walk among them is to glimpse the heartbeat of history, alive in every woven thread, every dance, every prayer whispered to the wind. This is the story of Mexico's enduring tribes. Amid the jungles of Yucatan and the highlands of Chiapas, the story of the Maya still lingers like a breath held between centuries, where towering ruins pierce the canopy and villages echo with colors woven from memory. Their world was one of sky, stone, and sacred fire, a civilization that charted the heavens and carved their wisdom into temples that still rise above the forests. For centuries, the Maya flourished, building cities of limestone that glowed white beneath the sun, plazas where rituals unfolded beneath the gaze of gods, and stairways where kings once walked in grandeur. They were keepers of calendars more precise than those of empires across the seas, mathematicians who measured eternity, storytellers who wove myth and cosmos into every ceremony. Their textiles, rich with patterns of sun, maize, and rain, were not mere cloth, but living pages, preserving the symbols of their universe. Yet their greatness was tested. Droughts hardened the rivers. Wars fractured kingdoms, and cities that once held thousands fell silent under creeping vines. Temples crumbled, their gods hidden by shadows, while the forest reclaimed what had been raised by human hands. The collapse was not a single fall, but a slow unraveling, a reminder that even civilizations tied to the stars could face the weight of time and struggle. And still, the Maya did not vanish. Their descendants carried forward language, ritual, and color, weaving resilience into every thread, keeping the fire of their ancestors alive. In the villages of Chiapas and Yucatan, patterns on cloth glow like the constellations their forebears mapped. Dances unfold as echoes of ancient rites, and prayers rise with the smoke of offerings. To witness them is to see continuity against all odds, a people who survived the fall of kingdoms yet endure with voices as old as the stones of Palenque and Chichen Itza. The Maya remain a bridge across centuries, a testament that even in the silence of ruined cities, culture can breathe on in living hearts, carrying the memory of gods, ancestors, and a world forever tied to the jungle and the sky. High in the rugged mountains of Oaxaca, where valleys open like green amphitheaters beneath the sun, the legacy of the Zapotec endures in stone, in earth, and in the woven patterns of their villages. Their world was one of terraces carved into steep hillsides, of temples that crowned the heights of Monte Alban, a city built above the clouds, where rulers gazed across horizons like kings of both heaven and earth. For centuries, the Zapotec flourished as builders, artisans, and astronomers. They shaped plazas from the mountain's spine, raised pyramids aligned with the turning of the stars, and left behind carved glyphs that spoke in voices older than conquest. Their pottery, etched with geometric designs and faces of gods, carried the stories of ancestors across generations, while their weaving turned threads into landscapes of color, preserving memory in patterns as enduring as stone. In every artifact and in every fabric, they inscribed their understanding of balance between earth, rain, and sun. But time brought its trials. Monte Alban, once a seat of power, began to fade, its temples abandoned to silence as trade routes shifted and rival powers rose. The Zapotec faced waves of outside forces, pressing into their valleys, reshaping their world with conflict and change. Yet even as empires collapsed and foreign banners spread across their land, the heart of the Zapotec never stilled. Their mountain villages held fast to their craft, their language, and their ways of honoring the cycles of nature. Today, echoes of that ancient endurance remain. In Oaxaca's highlands, the looms still sing with threads dyed from cochineal and indigo, their reds and blues glowing like fire and sky. Clay still takes shape beneath skilled hands, forming vessels not only of utility, but of memory. Each craft carries the same spirit that once raised Monte Alban above the clouds, the same resilience that carried the Zapotec through centuries of upheaval. To witness the Zapotec is to witness a people who carved their identity into stone and thread alike, shaping a heritage that refuses to vanish. Their story rises from mountaintops and riversides, a reminder that even in the face of time, culture can hold its ground like mountains themselves. In the hills and valleys of Oaxaca, the Mixtec have lived for centuries, threading their history into the fabric of the land itself. Their villages cling to slopes carved by rivers, where sunlight dances across terraced fields and ancient stone pathways trace the movement of generations. Life here has always been shaped by hands skilled in creation, turning the simplest materials into expressions of memory and identity. The Mixtec were master artisans long before empires rose around them. Their embroidery, intricate and vibrant, tells stories of gods and ancestors, of rain and maize, of victories and journeys. Each stitch preserves a legacy, a visual language that carries meaning beyond words, passed from mother to daughter, from teacher to apprentice. Weaving, too, became a mirror of the landscape, geometric patterns reflecting mountains, rivers, and skies, woven with colors dyed from roots, flowers, and insects. Through these arts, the Mixtec inscribed their existence onto cloth, transforming daily life into living history. Conflict and conquest tested them. As surrounding kingdoms expanded and foreign forces entered the region, Mixtec communities faced upheaval, yet they adapted while keeping the essence of their culture intact. Their towns remained cradles of craftsmanship, workshops of memory, where traditions survived the pressures of time and change. In adversity, their artistry became a shield, preserving identity when other markers of civilization were threatened. Today, the Mixtec continue this dialogue with the past, from terraces and marketplaces to quiet homes tucked into hillsides. Embroidery and hand-woven clothing shine as living proof of endurance. Every thread tells a story, every pattern a map of ancestry, and every garment is a vessel of resilience. The Mixtec have made the ordinary extraordinary, turning cloth into history and craft into continuity. To walk through a Mixtec village is to witness history woven into the very air, a people who have transformed survival into artistry, and artistry into a bridge across centuries, keeping the heartbeat of their ancestors alive in every pattern and color. High in the canyons of northern Mexico, where cliffs rise like walls of stone and rivers carve deep into the earth, the Tarahumara, or Rarámuri, have lived in rhythm with the land for centuries. Their villages perch on narrow ledges, connected by trails that wind through the Sierra Madre, where every step echoes a history of endurance, resilience, and intimate knowledge of the terrain. The Rarámuri are famed for their extraordinary long-distance running, a practice woven into the fabric of daily life and ritual. Running is not merely sport, but a sacred act, a bridge between earth and sky, between generations and between the people and the forces they honor. Across gorges and plateaus, messengers, hunters, and communities have relied on their speed to traverse distances that others could scarcely imagine, carrying news, trade, and tradition with each footfall. Their legs tell a story older than maps, moving across land shaped by fire, rain, and wind. Brightly colored woven clothing distinguishes the Tarahumara, each garment a reflection of identity and place. Men, women, and children drape themselves in threads dyed with natural pigments, the reds, blues, and yellows of their textiles echoing the vibrant tones of canyon walls, sky, and rivers. These garments preserve patterns passed down through centuries, encoding social structure, family lineage, and spiritual beliefs in their intricate designs. The act of weaving, like running, binds community and history together, a tangible expression of culture carried through time. Challenges have tested the Rarámuri. Harsh winters, shifting lands, and outside pressures threatened the delicate balance of their existence. Yet they endured, guided by ancestral knowledge, fortified by rhythm and movement, and sustained by the landscapes that shaped their bodies and spirit. Their resilience is not silent. It is sung through pounding feet, on dusty trails, whispered in the wind over canyon rims, and displayed in the bright hues of woven cloth that catch the sun. To witness the Tarahumara is to see endurance and artistry intertwined, a people whose speed carries the memory of ancestors and whose vibrant clothing turns every step into a celebration of life, history, and the enduring human spirit. High in the mist-shrouded mountains of Oaxaca, the Mazatec have lived for centuries, where clouds cling to the peaks and rivers thread through hidden valleys. Their villages perch on steep slopes, carved from the earth by generations who understood how to dwell in harmony with a rugged landscape, turning isolation into a cradle of culture, ceremony, and knowledge. The Mazatec are renowned for their healing traditions, a lineage of wisdom passed from elder to apprentice through centuries of observation, ritual, and connection to the natural world. Plants, flowers, and roots are transformed into remedies, each preparation a testament to knowledge gathered over generations, rooted in careful listening to the land. Medicine is inseparable from the spirit, and healing ceremonies echo with chants, prayers, and songs that link the human and natural worlds, where sound and rhythm carry intentions as vital as the herbs themselves. Music flows through every aspect of Mazatec life. Traditional instruments and vocal melodies mark rituals, celebrations, and transitions, carrying stories of ancestors and the cycles of the seasons. The Mazatec understand sound as a language older than writing, each note resonating across valleys and forests, preserving memory, faith, and identity. Music and medicine together form a rhythm of survival, a constant practice of cultural endurance that has weathered centuries of change and pressure from outside forces. Isolation both challenged and protected the Mazatec. Harsh terrain, shifting climates, and historical incursions tested their communities, yet their knowledge and customs persisted, refined in solitude, strengthened by intergenerational teaching. Every song, every ceremony, and every remedy holds a lineage of resilience, a living archive of how people can endure while remaining deeply connected to the land. Today, the Mazatec continue to inhabit these highlands, weaving ritual, song, and healing into daily life. To witness their traditions is to see culture that breathes with the mountains themselves, a people who carry the wisdom of centuries in their hands, their voices and their songs, preserving a heritage both sacred and enduring. In the highlands of Michoacán, where lakes shimmer like mirrors and mountains rise in solemn silence, the Purépecha have carved a life of artistry and celebration across centuries. Their villages cling to the slopes and shores, a network of communities where craft, ritual, and festivity are woven into the rhythm of daily life, echoing traditions that reach back to pre-Hispanic times. The Purépecha are renowned for their craftsmanship, particularly in wood carving. Skilled hands transform local timber into figures, masks, and ceremonial objects, each piece carrying the spirit of ancestors and the symbolism of myths passed down through generations. Every carving is more than decoration. It is a story, a connection to lineage, a tangible bridge between past and present. Alongside woodwork, textiles and metalwork reflect the same dedication to detail, turning ordinary materials into expressions of identity and resilience. Festive dances form another pillar of Purépecha culture, a vibrant expression of community and spirituality. In brightly colored costumes, dancers move to rhythms that have survived centuries, reenacting creation myths, honoring deities, and marking seasonal cycles. Music and movement are inseparable from life itself, resonating through plazas and streets, carrying history in every step and gesture. Celebration is both homage and preservation, a living archive of belief, memory, and social cohesion. The Purépecha faced challenges as empires rose and fell around them, as conquest and colonization threatened to erode their ways. Yet their villages remained bastions of continuity, where skills and rituals were safeguarded and adapted without losing their essence. Craft and dance became forms of resistance, mediums through which culture endured, asserting identity in the face of shifting times. Today, the Purépecha continue to honor these traditions. Woodcarvers, dancers, and artisans sustain a culture that is both visible and intangible, a testament to resilience and creativity. To witness the Purépecha is to encounter a people who turn craft into heritage, movement into memory, and every village into a living canvas of history that endures across generations. In the lush valleys and rolling hills of Veracruz and Puebla, the Totonas have kept a tradition alive that soars above the earth itself, where ritual and sky converge in a dance older than memory. Their villages nestle amid forests and rivers, and here the Voladoras ceremony rises as a testament to faith, courage, and the enduring spirit of a people attuned to the rhythms of nature. For centuries, the Totonas have performed the ritual of the Voladoras, a spectacle where men climb a towering pole, securing themselves with ropes that will carry them in a slow, spinning descent. Each rotation marks prayers for fertility, rain, and prosperity, an offering of devotion that binds human effort to cosmic cycles. The ceremony is accompanied by flute and drum, instruments that echo through valleys, weaving sound into movement and linking generations in a shared expression of reverence. This ritual is not merely performance. It embodies the Totonas worldview, a delicate balance between earth and sky, life and spirit. The ascent to the pole represents connection to the divine, while the controlled descent symbolizes harmony with forces greater than human strength. Through this act, Totonas communities have honored their ancestors, celebrated harvests, and invoked the natural elements that sustain life, turning courage into continuity. The Totonacs have faced pressures from conquest, modernization, and changing landscapes, yet the voladores endure. Each generation learns the precise steps, the music, and the rituals that surround the flight, safeguarding a cultural bridge that links centuries. The ceremony's survival speaks to resilience, showing how tradition can rise above trials carried literally on the ropes that spin toward the earth. Today, the Totonacs continue to perform this breathtaking ritual, where human bodies rotate in the sky like threads of a living tapestry, a visual and spiritual testament to a culture that rises, falls, and rises again. To witness the voladores is to feel the pulse of history, the devotion of a people, and the poetic harmony between humanity and the vast sky above. In the highlands of central Mexico, where mountains slope into valleys and rivers carve paths through ancient soil, the Otomi have woven their history into threads of color and design. Their villages, perched on hillsides and tucked into fertile plains, echo with centuries of tradition, where craft is not merely utility, but a language of memory, identity, and resilience. The Otomi are celebrated for their embroidery, intricate patterns stitched with precision and imagination. Each textile tells a story depicting flora, fauna, and symbols passed down from ancestors who observed the cycles of nature and life with attentive eyes. Vibrant threads in reds, blues, yellows, and greens transform cloth into living landscapes, preserving myths, beliefs, and family histories in every stitch. Weaving and embroidery have long been more than artistry. They are vessels of cultural continuity, connecting present generations to a legacy older than written records. Throughout history, the Otomi navigated periods of upheaval, from the rise and fall of surrounding empires to the incursions of outside forces. Yet their craft endured, a quiet yet profound form of resistance that kept their identity alive. Looms became classrooms of memory, embroidery needles became pens writing the story of survival, and textiles became portable archives of knowledge and tradition. Today, Otomi textiles remain vivid expressions of heritage. Markets and homes alike are filled with fabrics that celebrate the natural world, ancestral wisdom, and the enduring creativity of a people who have mastered patience, skill, and beauty. Every stitch bridges centuries, a testament to a culture that survives in pattern, color, and form. To witness the Otomi is to see history embroidered into life itself, a people who have turned craft into culture, threads into continuity, and ordinary cloth into a timeless record of who they are and where they come from. Their story is stitched into the land, the mountains, and the enduring heart of Mexico itself. In the deserts and river valleys of northern Mexico, where arid winds sweep across plains and mountains rise in quiet grandeur, the Yaqui have preserved a culture forged through centuries of devotion, ceremony, and resilience. Their villages are alive with the echoes of ancestors, where rituals mark time, honor spirits, and celebrate the enduring bond between community and cosmos. The Yaqui are renowned for their ceremonial traditions, where dance, music, and mask-making converge into expressions of identity and faith. Every mask, carved and painted with care, represents gods, animals, or ancestral spirits, a bridge between the seen and unseen. Ceremonial dances transform plazas into stages of memory and reverence, where participants enact creation myths, seasonal cycles, and the triumphs and trials of their people. Music, often led by flutes, and drums threads through every movement, binding body, spirit, and land into a single, harmonious rhythm. Historically, the Yaqui faced waves of external pressures, from colonial incursions to political conflicts that threatened their villages and traditions. Yet through ritual and performance, they sustained their culture, encoding resilience into every step of the dance, every carefully painted mask, and every chant that rises above the desert wind. Ceremony became both sanctuary and statement, asserting identity in the face of upheaval and preserving a lineage that stretches back beyond written records. Today, the Yaqui continue to honor these traditions. In festivals and sacred spaces, dances unfold as living history. Masks breathe with ancestral presence, and music resonates across valleys, linking past and present. Each ceremony is a testimony to survival, a reminder that culture is not only remembered, but lived, embodied in motion, sound, and color. To witness the Yaqui is to see a people whose devotion transforms ordinary spaces into sacred landscapes, where history, faith, and artistry converge. Their ceremonies are living archives of memory, a celebration of endurance, and a vivid reflection of a culture that continues to thrive against the currents of time. High in the mist-laden highlands of Chiapas, where steep valleys cradle villages and clouds linger among jagged peaks, the Tzotzil live as the inheritors of an ancient Maya legacy. Their settlements cling to the mountainsides, where stone paths and terraces trace the footsteps of generations who have shaped their lives in harmony with rugged terrain and shifting seasons. The Tzotzil are known for their distinct clothing and weaving, where patterns, colors, and textures tell stories older than memory. Men and women adorn themselves in garments dyed with natural pigments, each thread reflecting cosmology, ancestry, and connection to the land. Weaving is more than craft. It is a dialogue with history, a way of encoding knowledge of the mountains, rivers, and celestial cycles into cloth that carries both beauty and meaning. Every garment preserves tradition, ensuring that the lineage of the Highland Maya endures through daily life. For centuries, the Tzotzil have balanced survival and identity amid challenges. Harsh terrain, climate extremes, and pressures from outside powers tested their communities, yet they maintained language, ritual, and craft as anchors against change. Villages became repositories of culture, where elders taught weaving techniques, ceremonial customs, and ancestral wisdom, ensuring that knowledge passed seamlessly across generations. In adversity, their artistry and traditions became shields, safeguarding identity and continuity. Today, Tzotzil villages remain vibrant with color and life. Weaving and clothing continue to embody the essence of culture, while terraces, forests, and streams shape rhythms of work and ceremony. Each thread, each pattern, speaks to resilience, turning everyday garments into living symbols of history. To witness the Tzotzil is to witness a people who carry the pulse of the highlands in their hands and hearts, preserving Maya heritage in thread, color, and memory. Their story is a bridge between past and present, a testament to endurance, artistry, and the enduring spirit of the mountains they call home.